Hello everyone and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update for everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. I'm sorry about yesterday. I didn't have my usual setup, so you couldn't see my face like I explained in the video. But yesterday was a really great day because Redstone went through and there were some really great things about Redstone that happened, including our favorite Maverick doing a shoey, which is really amazing. But the main focus of the video yesterday was Redstone, and today we're going to start with Redstone as well. So the smoothing pool launched, and already we have around 20% of all node operators and around 16.5% of all mini pools are now part of the smoothing pool. The largest node operator has 60 mini pools, and that's next block. And I have personally joined the mini pool, but I'm waiting for gas to go lower on my transaction before my joining gets put onto the blockchain. So it's really exciting. I'm really hoping that good things are going to happen because of this. So it'll be, excuse me, it'll be MEV and priority fees that are sent to the smoothing pool contract, so that it won't impact proposals, attestations, sync committees, anything like that. That will still be happening on the mini pool by mini pool basis. However, the smoothing pool will be on a node basis, and all priority fees and MEV will be shared among the smoothing pool. So before we get into the smoothing pool, Joe had this post on Discord from a month ago, saying note to all of you dudes, so the smoothing pool prorates you per interval. So if you joined a third of the way through the interval, you get 66% of your actual share. If you want 100% on your first interval, opt in before interval 0 ends a few days before Redstone launches, a few days after Redstone launches. So if you want to get the full amount of your smoothing rewards, you'll have to join the smoothing pool before September 1st, which is when the next claim period starts. So that's definitely something to keep in mind if you're kind of on the fence about joining the smoothing pool. If you want to maximize your incentives, then join basically as soon as possible. Also, if you join today before, I think, midnight UTC, like that's 8 p.m. Eastern, you can also maybe get a PWAP. So that's quite great. There's one in trading that's being floated around at the moment. So next we have a post by Dave on trading, and he says, guys, today was really great. Before most of us hit the sack, just want to say that months of work went into what almost seemed like a nothing burger today. Upgrading $500 million live total value lock project is absolutely no small feat, but the team did it today and carried on without any significant grandeur. With crypto craziness constantly being about the loudest or the newest, I really hope we in the community can keep being quiet, humble, and doing awesome things. So it's a really great reminder just how big a deal this was and just how smoothly it went through. Like, it's really great the way it worked out. I think some people missed a couple of attestations when the contract went live, but that's it. Like, it was really, really, really great work, and everyone's so proud of the team and all the hard work they put into this to get this over the line. And now start working on Atlas. I'm really hyped about Atlas. I'm going to be talking about it so much over the next few months. To change track now away from Redstone, Marceau shared this tidbit of someone from Swell. I said the person from Swell basically said that they have 131 ETH staked a week after launch. So they have a control launch with what Superfizz said here, but actually went into a really good discussion about how new staking protocols are going to gain traction in the market. So we all know that Lido is kind of huge, and then Rocket Pool obviously is the complete opposite end of Lido. Well, opposite end of maybe centralized exchanges, but on the other side of Lido. But Swell is kind of, even Fizz says here, it says one of the things I found confusing about Swell is that they said there's no way to limit the growth of the protocol because they're smart contract based, but then governance is going to open the protocol for launch slowly. Maybe I just need to read more slowly. But what happened is this actually led to a really good conversation, a really good discussion about all the different staking providers, and eventually led to a discussion about how difficult it would be to fork Rocket Pool. So again, Fizz here says, I'll give it a swing. It has features in common with Rocket Pool. Node operators can make a fractional deposit, 1 ETH for vetted entities. Those are people who do know your customer checks. 16 for permissionless stakers. Then token holders can choose a specific pool to join. Maybe they join the Infura pool. Infura stakes for them. I believe the rewards accrue on a separate NFT, but the NFT logic seems very confusing to me. So I think what happens is your stake is actually represented by an NFT, and then there's some like technical issues that people don't really understand about how that does or doesn't accrue value. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on going forward as well. But this was a really good discussion that happened, and you can definitely check it out by following this conversation, this thread here. So that's definitely something worth reading about. Next we have, oh sorry, this should have been one step earlier, but I guess it kind of fits here as well. So Dave replied to Marceau saying it's funny that we haven't seen more direct competition, by saying it's not as easy as it looks. And I think that's just a good reminder to remember that there's a lot that goes into building a smart contract protocol, and that value like locks up hundreds of millions of dollars worth of value. The team does amazing work, and the community as a whole, I think, kind of amplifies that by really putting in hours of our time to do things, whether that's in Viz spending 500 hours to make a bot, or whether that's Marceau spending hours talking to different funds and different teams that I'm going to talk about next, and trying to spread the word to, you know, people like Fizz. And I'm sorry if I'm not giving you a name check. There's just so many amazing people in this community that are doing so much work on top of what the team is doing, and I think together that's impossible to fork. Like, all of the Rocket Pool's code is open source and it's all out there for anyone to fork if they wanted to. But when you fork something, I think Fizz made a really good point. You said when you fork a product, it's not just about getting a fork. At that point onwards, then you have to do better than the original team. You have to just have a vastly superior product, you know, like that you develop out of that fork. Otherwise, people won't move. And like I said a couple of days ago, you know, with the Meek post about I love this community, one of the most incredible things about the Rocket Pool community is like the Rocket Pool protocol is the community we've got built in. Yesterday there was a person coming into trading and talking about how we like Rocket Pool spends loads of marketing, and it's like we really spend like next to nothing on marketing. That's been a huge gripe with the community. But I think what that person meant is that we have a very strong presence on Reddit, on Twitter, on other Discord communities, and people who are very passionate about Rocket Pool and very adept at talking about Rocket Pool. They're knowledgeable, they're smart, and they're very persuasive. So, you know, we get viral tweets by Marceau and Jasper and other people. We get very engaging posts on ETH Finance on Reddit by people who are part of the community. And then you get people like me who are making this video and trying to give back to the community as well, you know, like, and that's like, I don't ask for subscribers, I don't ask for any sponsorships, I don't ask for any of that stuff. The only reason why I'm doing this is because I love this community and I love this project and I want it to succeed, you know, and that is impossible to fork. Like, if you made a Rocket Pool fork, you can't fork me too, and you can't fork Marceau, and you can't fork like Invis, and you can't fork all these, you can't fork all these people. Like, it's just impossible. So that's a little bit of a aside. So talking about Marceau, he had a conversation with Messari. Now, if you don't know Messari, they're a data analytics company that works with Web3, and the thing that they're really famous for is putting out reports about projects, putting out reports about different protocols and like what they're doing and how they're working. So Marceau had a post a couple of days ago talking to a Messari person in the post, and then they met this morning and talked about it. So they're going to be writing a report in about a week or so. And if you have a look, he says, this is like a sneak peek, so I'm not trying to front run Messari, I'm sorry. But he says the base case is 60 million ETH staked, and Rocket Pool will get 5 to 10% market share. So right now we have a 1.6% market share. So that will go up by about 3 to 6x basically, which is amazing in terms of market share, which means total value locked will be around 3 to 6 million, which is a 10 to 20x in TVL. and their analyst had a model that directly connects TVL to market cap the same way I'm calculating it. We actually arrived at very similar numbers. So for those of you who know, Marceau's prediction for the long term is that rocket pool value will be around 0.1 to 0.2 ETH, 0.2 being like his optimistic case, and his goals for ETH are $20,000, with rocket pool being at $2,000 per token, which is amazing to hear. But it seems like the Messari people are actually using their data to come up with similar numbers. So I'm just trying to find the thing. So what would the ratio at 3 to 6 million TVL be? And Marceau's saying 0.1 to 0.2 on the ETH ratio approximately. So that is basically 6 to 12x on the ratio, and then whatever ETH appreciates in that time as well. So how are we going to get there? One of the ways we're going to get there is by these amazing liquidity incentives that are going to massively pump the RETH and total value locked. So we talked about it a couple of days ago when we talked about incentives, and one of the things that the people here are talking about in the liquidity incentives channel is by kind of co-incentivizing pairs, and by giving the teams some tokens to kind of help them and help ourselves. So here we had a comment was from Laminations. He said, "Hey Marceau, it's nice to meet. Excited to see incentives are hidden hand. First off, hidden hands VI Aura market is extremely efficient right now, and I'm sure you guys can benefit with core pools. So it'd be awesome to see the DAO and your broader community more deeply involved and stakeholders in balance of Aura. Transitioning over to RETH pairs is something we can explore." So this is like changing their pairs from WETH to RETH. Worth noting that all pair LP incentives on Aura are determined by smart contract, so we'd be unable to directly affect the LP pairings of other projects, but could maybe think of something internally for RETH Aura if that passes past our governance. So Marceau said, "In my opinion, this is a very mutually beneficial win-win. Here's a longer form write-up of an idea, and then there's like the link to the DAO forum." So Lamination says, "Just so I understand the proposal here, if we incentivize the RETH Aura pair, in our case it would be via hidden hand, we would get some matching of incentives. How is the yield matched by Rocket Pool determined? Does each co-incentivization proposal have to go through governance, or does it go through the newly established LM Council? I think some friction getting our community transition to RETH. We'd love it, but we may need some strong co-incentivization." So now the discussions have started about co-incentivization, about moving to RETH pairs instead of WETH pairs or uptake pairs. And then here we have a comment, another one by Marceau, sharing a comment by Rhett, who said, "Hey friends, Colton from 1KX has been chatting with Chainlink about getting a feed ASAP. They're setting up a Telegram group for Chainlink and Rocket Pool liquidity team. DM me your handles please, or share here if you want." Now, Marceau goes on to say what it means to get a Chainlink feed, and where is that post? It says everything. Seriously, Chainlink is such a gatekeeper to everything we want: lending platforms, Compound, Aave, central exchange listings, whales, and large staking custodians like Nexus Mutual. It's impossible to overstate just how big a deal getting the damn Chainlink data feed is. So if Chainlink data feed is happening and there's moves being made towards that, and then the incentives are going to increase the volume for RETH and the Rocket Pool tokens, then Chainlink will be more likely to give us that feed. And if they give us that feed, then big things are going to happen. I can't overstate that. In terms of integrations, I'm not making any guarantees about price or ratio or anything like that. Of course, this is not trading advice, but it's definitely something that is getting a lot of people in the Rocket Pool community, including myself, very excited. So on that note, I'm going to call it a day, and I want to wish you all a happy rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.